Hey guys, welcome to the Truth Corner, and today's session is knowing your worth. But before we get started, I would love to share a little letter that I wrote to myself to you guys. Let's get started. Because I know my worth now, I will no longer settle. It took me a minute to find out and realize it, but now I know. I'm saying that's why it's easy for me to wait and no longer be in a rush to date. Once you realize who you are and what you deserve, you won't just be with anyone. After a humble and humiliating divorce, some caused by my own decisions, I will never settle again or live beneath my own privilege or worth. So, knowing your worth is more than just dating people and getting into dating. I feel like people, or especially women, not be so desperate and kind of sit back and take a look of the things that you're going to tolerate and the things that you're not going to tolerate. We have to know our worth. We have to be strong in it too, and be confident that whatever we feel like our worth is, somebody out there is for us and who's going to appreciate our own worth that we put off. Because of what I went through, I think a lot of times people don't change until they go through experiences, and I am blessed and very grateful for the divorce and how it happened, because it taught me something about what things I'm not going to tolerate anymore, and knowing that I am worthy of not tolerating foolishness. I feel like us women, at times we get desperate. The biological clock is ticking, so we settle, and you don't have to settle. It is truly somebody out there, just like you're praying on one end about a certain type of man, it's another man praying on the other end about a certain type of woman. So I believe in God's timing. That's when he brings things together, and then you'll be shocked. But until then, until that person comes around you, you have to set your own boundaries of what things you're not going to do and what things you're not going to tolerate and what things that you're going to tolerate. Because of course too, relationships is a compromise. It's no perfect person out there. But at the same time, I'm not that desperate that I'm going to just be with anyone now. I'm taking my time, and in taking my time, I'm getting to know myself a little bit more and knowing what I'm worth. One thing I am definitely worthy of is not having a cheating husband. I feel like though it's very, especially in the millennial ages, it's kind of rare to none to find a man who's not cheating. But at the end of the day, there's still men out there who are not cheating. There's still men out there who are good men, good fathers, good providers, good husbands. There's still good husbands out there. So I have the mindset that though, yes, we live in a crazy world today, my old-fashioned man is there waiting for me. My old-fashioned man is there praying for me, just like I'm praying for him. And because of who I am, I know that I'm going to have that, because guess what? I'm not desperate to be with anyone. I'm getting to know me, and I know what I'm worth because I know what I put out. And knowing my worth behind that is I know what I give. I give love, loyalty, commitment, honesty. I'm a woman of integrity, respect. So I know that if I put out that, I'm definitely worth all that I put out. So just be mindful of that. And some other things I would like to share with you. Let's go in my little book of notes that I just write down, because I feel like a lot of times it's just good to write it down too. When you have any thoughts of anything, I like to write. One of the things I said was, God himself says, I am a good thing and I am favor. And any man who finds me finds a good thing and finds favor. So in knowing my worth, the word of God already tells me that I'm a woman who is the good thing that a man finds. So if God tells me I'm a good thing, like, back up, because I'm a good thing. And not to have this all high mighty sedity attitude, but God tells me that I'm that good thing. So I need to believe it, that I'm that good thing. So part of knowing my worth is God says it, so I believe it, so I am. It is what it is. And then he also says that a man who finds me finds favor. So you can't even have favor if you don't find me. Okay, so that's why I know I'm worthy of a certain type of man. And my thing is this: at the end of the day, if you feel that I'm like that, or any woman and any man too, if they feel like if the other person who wants to date you or who wants to be with you feel like you're too this, they're just not worthy of you. And don't compromise with being someone just to say that you're with someone. Know your worth and just be still. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, we need to just chill out and not be so desperate. Another point that I brought out is your takeaway should be knowing your worth. Don't be so desperate. Pray over your anxiety and anxiousness. A lot of times I feel like when you don't know your worth, you're very anxious to make hasty decisions. You're very impulsive and you don't really think about, the pros and the cons. You're not really weighing your options because you want this relationship so bad. And that was one of the things that I was dealing with. I saw everybody around me getting married and I was like, well, let me hop on the bandwagon, but not really taking heed to the red flags, ignoring the red flags. And because at the time and space that I was dealing with at that time, I was very depressed. I was going through a lot and just not knowing what I was worthy of, not remembering the things that I was taught in my own home with my parents. So I want to encourage you ladies, even men too, because though the man is the chaser, a man can still be desperate and be with the wrong woman. And the word of God talks about a foolish woman. So you don't want to be with someone who you're just not supposed to be with. So in knowing your worth, don't be so anxious and get ahead of God. Stay prayerful and make sure that your prayers and his confirmations and everything lines up with what the person you're supposed to be with. Also, in knowing your worth, you want to make sure that you write down the things that you like. And I'm not talking about like a man that has muscles, who makes 8 figures, he got a beard. Like, don't be superficial. Part of that, I think, a lot of times too, because men and women, we can be visual, we end up being with the wrong person. But knowing your worth, you're gonna look deeper than that. You're gonna be so worthy of whoever you're supposed to be with. The looks and everything else doesn't matter at that point, because you're digging deeper than what you should be, what you typically will dig in. So if anything, I just want to encourage you women to know your worth. Do not be desperate to be with anyone. Do your homework, weigh your options, your pros and cons. Make sure too that everything just comes together like a glove and you're not forcing anything. When you force things too, you're just rushing and you're not taking your time. And then also too, if any man or woman disrespects you in any sense, take note of that. You do not have to settle for anybody because you feel like, man, it's one man to 6 women. Who cares? At the end of the day, God is going to give you the person that you're supposed to be with. Make sure you know your worth. And then too, I also want to take knowing your worth, not just in relationships, but even your friendships. It's just certain people that you shouldn't even surround yourself with. And I don't like to make it seem like I'm better than anyone, but it's just certain crowds I just can't get with. If you're smoking, if you're drinking, and you high all the time, and you gang banging, and whatever the things that I don't do, I know my worth, that even my friendships, I have to make sure that I screen my friends as well, because I know that my friends that are in my space are worthy to be in my space, and vice versa. I'm worthy to be in their space as well, because we have common goals at the end of the day. So if anything, I want you guys to know your worth and do your homework. Make sure you don't rush into any kind of relationship, whether it's going to be a spousal relationship or even like a best friend relationship. I want to encourage you guys. I love you guys. Make sure you know your worth. But at the end of the day, make sure you think it, you do it, and you be it.